They say there's nothing that can really replicate NBA action. Since you've been out for this long, LeBron, how did you feel physically to get to this point?
I'm about 80 right now, but I was good enough to feel confident to be able to just keep pushing throughout the game. First quarter for me was kind of a fill out. I haven't been out there since December 25th. Second quarter, I kind of ramped it up a little bit more, and then, for the rest of the game. But, it's going to take me a little while to get my rhythm back. I didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I'm very efficient. I take that personal, but I was able to help out in other ways, and this is a big team win for us. We're behind these guys in the playoff spot, so that was a big team win.
Last thing for you, considering you're 80%, as you said, how does that affect how you're going to go about approaching the game, LeBron?
I don't know. The number one thing I'm thinking about right now is starting the treatment process. We got a lot of games coming up. We got to fly out tomorrow to the Bay Area and play that team that's the best team in our league. Obviously, we know that, so I want to kind of see how my body reacts tomorrow. That's going to be the telltale sign for me how my body feels tomorrow after having to play 40 minutes, unfortunately, with the overtime. But I worked my ass off to get back to this point. It was the toughest stretch of my career, not being out on the floor and being out for 5 weeks, but it just felt great to get back out here. This is my rest haven. This is where I can shut out everything, be on the floor, be out there with my guys, command my guys, and get a win on the road.
Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I might need a drink after that one. God, I almost had an aneurysm and a heart attack simultaneously. That's how bad that was. What's going on? It's Charles Ryan, KB24 status, Kobe24 MP3, or yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan in the universe. That game was, I said this twice, I think, on that Lonzo foul versus Thunder. That Lonzo foul when he gave Russell 3 free throws and they went to overtime. And I'll say it again. There was no reason for this game to go to overtime. I just think the Lakers just like to entertain us and give us more minutes and, make LeBron play 5 extra minutes, make LeBron play 40 minutes on his first game back. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't understand, but hopefully this is not a trend over the next few games because we have quite a road trip ahead of ourselves. You might get a few lucky breaks. Klay Thompson was ill tonight. Maybe he'll play. I doubt it. I doubt that he won't play. I think he'll play on Saturday, but yeah, they can't keep shooting themselves in the foot like this. Can't keep putting all these miles on players that don't need it. So the Lakers defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 123-120. I got to be honest, I don't understand how I look around on my TV and I see half the seats are empty in like every other row. I don't understand. And it's not like I was looking, after halftime when fans are funneling to their seats. No, I was looking at like 3 minutes left in like the third quarter, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I don't understand how that's even possible. And if you guys do recall, a couple podcasts ago, it might have even been the last podcast, I said, if you're smart and you're a Laker fan or a LeBron fan, I said, get that ticket right now. Because Clippers tickets are cheaper, way cheaper than Lakers tickets, especially when 10% of the stadium doesn't even show up. I made that mistake. I should have got that ticket, but I had previous commitments. So we win overtime. LeBron played great. He even said in this postgame that you just listened to that he was kind of feeling things out. Definitely got that sense. And definitely got that sense when he had 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the game. I don't know why he kept continuously going behind the back passes. I think it's just his lazy pass. He shot 16% from 3, 1 for 6. But overall, I think it was a great, great game. If he says he's 80% and he posts 24 points, 9 assists, 14 rebounds, 1 steal in 40 minutes, on 40% from the field and you have 0 fouls. I mean, I think every player in the league would take that 80%. They would take that at their 100% or whatever. So I got to tell you guys, Lance Revolution. He's not only a guitar strummer, he's a dancer. I saw that, the body shaking. I saw the elbows, the shoulders moving. I saw all that. Got that and one over Boban when he elbowed him and the chicken winged him to the face. That was great. That was a confusing play. But I want to talk about a few things. First, Luke Walton's lineup selections. He stuck with Zoo in the beginning of each half, and then he really went to the veterans. I'm also going to talk about Kuzma's role in this game because he was essentially irrelevant. He was a ghost. I know he had 10 points on 4 for 8 shooting, I believe. But still, definitely LeBron or, I don't know, his minutes just definitely got impacted by LeBron and his opportunities. Only shot 3 threes. Did make 2, but he had 3 turnovers. I'll also talk about the lineups, but also the fact that at the end, Luke was sticking with LeBron, Rondo, and Lance, and then he'd alternate JaVale and Tyson, but he always had B.I. in. You know, B.I. played 44 minutes. That's the thing about B.I. I know I said it like a few podcasts ago, and in my mind for the past year, I've been thinking B.I.'s the odd man out. But my mind has been, I might have to rethink things, and this isn't recency bias, but it's a combination of things. So yeah, B.I. getting that veteran quote-unquote role by playing with the veterans at the end. I'm going to talk about how JaVale's ridiculous role in this game. He had that crazy goaltending call, I think, at the end of the first, where for absolutely no reason he fucked the ball up. He had that missed dunk in overtime or in the fourth quarter. I think it was overtime. So just a lot of crazy things from JaVale. I'm going to talk about how every single turnover the Clippers usually took advantage. But not only that, it was really just the second chance opportunities, those second rebounds, those free throws that you give up a free throw rebound and then Boban gets an easy 2 and then he gets fouled. That happened twice. Crazy. At the end of the fourth quarter, they had that 4-point play right there with 30 seconds left. Come on, guys. And finally, I will talk about how we are very good at surrendering leads towards the end of games. So that's the rundown. There may be a story time. I don't know. I've kind of left you guys hanging. Maybe you guys don't even like my story times, but I don't get any feedback. I don't get any comments. I don't get any messages, so I'm just going to stick with this shit. I value your guys' feedback, but it's funny, you know. Collectively, all of these podcasts have about, 300, 400 views, and I'm not even looking at my podcast numbers. I'm talking about the videos themselves. So yeah, I really value your feedback. If you want to be more personal, you can DM me. I think you can even personal message on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah. So that's the rundown. Maybe a story time. So let's start with Lance. I talked a lot about it, but he played great, you know. He had 20 points, shooting 60% from the field. And this was the big one, as you saw, 5 for 8 on threes. And that one sexy 3 from, 30 feet. Ooh, that dog, man. He's great. I really like him. I think LeBron really helps him out because he's usually the odd man out and wide open in the corner. You know, LeBron's a decoy and they'll give it to Lance to get a good easy 3 or whatever. So I think LeBron really helps him, and I think LeBron and him obviously have a really good rapport despite what their previous quote-unquote relationships, especially in the blowing of the ears. I want to talk about that shot, but also how he had maximum effort on defense when he got that technical foul, diving for the ball. I mean, I don't understand how with 24 seconds left, you get a rebound, the game's pretty much over. And of course the Lakers have to make everything more exciting and give me a freaking kidney stone or whatever, and you can't dribble the ball up the court. You have to have it go off Lance's leg or whatever. You have to dive on the goddamn ball. It's just so annoying, guys. I just can't fathom all this stuff. I don't know about you, fellow Laker fans, but I'm getting sick of this constant thing of blowing leads, especially specifically 7-point leads. 7 with 50 seconds left. 7 with a minute and a half. And it's not just this year. It's not just these 50 games this season. Literally, it's been a theme ever since pretty much Dwight Howard left in 2013. So, yeah. Lance gave that maximum effort, only 1 turnover, versus other players that had multiple turnovers. I want to talk about Rondo actually really fast as well. 14 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, only 1 turnover. That's crazy. And then, of course, at the end, as you guys saw probably, he got hurt. He busted up that ankle. Come on. Rondo really finds his seams, and I think sometimes he's really lackadaisical with the ball, especially when he threw it off Boban's foot with 2 seconds left there in the overtime. But I think sometimes he's really casual, and sometimes he's super tight with the ball. Like, he knows exactly where to place it, like that play where he gave it to Brandon up high, and then Brandon dunked it, forced the Clippers into a timeout. But Rondo's strange. He plays so well, gets all these crazy stat lines, 7 assists, LeBron had 9 assists, so between them they had 16 assists, and Brandon only had 4 assists, and Brandon could have had more. He just wasn't asked to assist. He was literally grinding and getting these sexy-ass... He had a few ISOs where I've never seen him look as good as that in his whole entire career. But yeah, he only needed 4 assists because he'd take over when LeBron was off the court. So Rondo had that 7 assist load, and so in between Brandon Rondo and LeBron, they had 20 assists. That's pretty good. Nobody else had over 2 assists besides those 3. But yeah. Also, why KCP only got 11 minutes? When he came in, he made 2 straight threes in a row, and then Luke just kind of abandoned him. I mean, I think it's because Lance was playing so well, but yeah. And it's clear Michael Beasley fell out of the rotation too. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went 11 deep this game. And Beasley played the least amount of minutes, was 6 minutes. But when he was in, I thought he was playing really well. He got a few rebounds. He only had 3 rebounds, but those 3 rebounds were huge. I think it was the second quarter. Because Lakers just kept giving up second chance points, and once Beasley came in, he really boxed out, got those boards. So, yeah, interesting the lineups. I'll get into that a little bit. So, he starts Zubats and Kuz, Ingram, Rondo, and LeBron, and pretty much Zubats was irrelevant. He faded out, and he stuck with Tyson and JaVale, his veterans. But, well, actually, hold on.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now.
Uh-oh.
Please try a little later.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you guys heard that. Damn, what the fuck was that? That was some Siri bullshit. I don't know what the hell happened. My house is a mind of its own. But, okay, back to the podcast. Zubats had 17 minutes, JaVale had 16, and Tyson had 18. So it was really balanced, but it just felt like he abandoned Zubats. And it was all JaVale and Tyson at the end, which I understand. They're veterans. But, so it was really interesting the way he phased Zubats out. In those lineups I was saying earlier of Lance, LeBron, Rondo, Brandon, and then either Tyson or JaVale. Those lineups are players that are super experienced. JaVale, 2-time champion. LeBron, obviously a legend. Rondo, one of the best point guards of all time. Lance, playoff stud, been deep head-to-head with LeBron with the Pacers. So he's playing these really experienced guys down the stretch, and he puts his faith in Brandon. He says, no, Kyle, I don't trust you. I'm going to give it to Brandon, who over the past 3 years I have leaned on to give maximum minutes. Brandon's had the most minute load over the past 3 years when he's been healthy. Of course, he's had those injuries, but I just really like how Luke trusts Brandon. And Luke has always been on Brandon's ass from year one because he knew, and I knew, Brandon's always been their best player. Until LeBron came, in my humble opinion, Brandon Ingram has been their best player. Even the rookie year. I mean, D'Angelo, whatever. Lou Williams, not even Lou, I guess you could say Lou Williams. No, sorry. Brandon, the first year he started out slow, but in the final couple months, if you recall, he played really well. So I guess that first year, Lou maybe was the best player, but the second year for sure, last year, really good. The point is, God damn it, he's good, and you can rely on him for 44 minutes, and my mind has wavered on whether or not you need to trade him, because I have come to the revelation that Kuz is now the odd man out. I'm sorry. In my mind, for the past 5 months, it's always been Brandon. We almost traded Brandon for Boogie Cousins a year or two ago before he tore his ACL or Achilles or whatever. Brandon is not one-dimensional like Kuz. Kuz is good at one thing, and that's getting the ball in the hoop. So he's kind of like Kobe, Chris Middleton, instant offense. But I'll say this again, and I don't know how many times I can harp on this. Lonzo and Brandon are each 21 years old. Kuzma is 23 years old, and in 5 months, Kuzma turns 24 years old. And not only that, Brandon Ingram has 1 more year of experience than Kuzma. And he's 2 years younger. So, he's the odd man out. It has to be Kuzma. I'm sorry. Everybody loves Kuzma more than Lonzo and B.I., but I think Kuzma's been really overhyped lately. Kuzma works really hard. Probably one of the hardest workers on the team, but at the same time, it's like his contract's a bargain, and he's one-dimensional. Lonzo will have games where he has 7 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, plus 20. And Lonzo will have games where he has 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Those games are obviously more rare, but the point is, he's like 4-dimensional. Deflections, steals. Lonzo's our best guard defender, period. I mean, Brandon Ingram, when he's asked to, he can get you 11 assists, 9 assists. Like I said, tonight he wasn't asked to do that. Tonight he was asked to have 4 assists. He was asked, when you take LeBron out of the game, Brandon Ingram take over, and on his ISOs, he took over. He shot the ball 12 times, which is a very modest amount, especially when LeBron shoots 22 times and Rondo shoots 14 times and Lance shoots 10 times. Like, Brandon could have been more assertive, but I understand how he was still efficient, shot 58% from the field, 19 points, but Brandon was very good at being patient and deferring when he needed to, letting Rondo and LeBron run the offense in the final, 5 minutes of the fourth and 5 overtime. And I think that's a really good quality in a player that's not... Like, Brandon's always been quiet, but, he never will flip out. Like, he'll never do a Joel Embiid, where Joel Embiid was, flipping out about his minutes when Jimmy came. Like, Brandon is very patient, and I think it's because Brandon is really young, and he's 21. Because in 2 years, he's going to be an all-star, period. I think Lonzo's been one of the greatest point guards of all time. But back to what I was saying. I think Kuzma has to be the odd man out. He's gone. Get rid of him. One-dimensional. Brandon Ingram's long, one of the longest wingspans in the league. Lonzo is amazing. I'm in love with him. But Kuzma, I'm sorry. You were a ghost tonight, and I know it's only 1 game, but I think you maybe got shell-shocked because LeBron was back, and maybe you're a little bit still banged up still, but There's a reason why Kuzma only got 23 minutes tonight. It's because Brandon was taking over and dominating and being assertive like he was last game with his career high versus Sixers. And I love it because most people think, Brandon can't play with LeBron. That's been the early assessment. But that was only 30 games before LeBron got injured. That was 32 games? So you can't make these snap judgments. It's only been one game, but Brandon Ingram proved tonight that he is very good at playing off ball when he needs to and on ball when he's asked to. And I love it. Lonzo is the best person in the league to play off ball. Lonzo is so goddamn unselfish, and he does everything that you need someone to do off ball. Watch Lonzo when he doesn't have the ball. Watch him cut. Watch him float across the court. Watch him make these passes 70 feet. Gets the rebound, half a second, it's gone. Kuzma needs the ball. Kuzma is obviously not pass first, but he does not have the court vision and the feel for the players around him and the insight to find these players like Brandon and Lonzo do. And I swear tonight, when I saw Brandon had, I don't know if you guys remember this play, but Brandon had a pass tonight. He got a rebound, I think, or someone outletted to him, and he threw it about 70 feet to, I think it was Josh Hart. And that's a Lonzo pass. That's a Kevin Hart pass. Kevin Hart. I saw Kevin Hart on James Corden last night, that's why. That's a Kevin Love outlet pass. That's a LeBron outlet pass. That really was a special moment for me. And I whenever Brandon has these huge stretches, he'll get hurt. Last year, he had a really nice 10-game stretch. And he had that one game versus the Hawks last year, if you remember. It was an away game at the Hawks. And he kicked the Hawks' ass. And all the crowd in Atlanta is obviously Laker fans because it's Atlanta. And then he got hurt. And then he sat out the rest of the season, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. But so he has these moments, and he's gaining momentum, and then something drastic happens. And the something drastic that was supposed to happen, but that could have happened, was LeBron came back, and LeBron fractured, would interrupt everything and cut into his minutes. But tonight proved that it won't. The Lakers played a lot better than what the score reflected. They were up by 8 points, 14 points, 10 points, and literally the lead had nothing to do with the Lakers' play itself. It was just the little things of giving the offensive rebound on a free throw to Boban, second chance points. That has nothing to do with the overall game itself and how well they played. If they tighten up those things, if they get half the amount of turnovers, the game would have been a 20-point domination or 15-point domination. And of course, when you're up by 7 with a minute and a half, it should be done already. But the point is, if they play this way versus the Warriors on Sunday, and Brandon can continue to be assertive and no one to not be assertive, I will be in supreme nirvana because these bullshit rumors coming out, the Lakers are offering Brandon, Lonzo, Kuz, Zoo picks, and maybe Josh Hart as well for AD are the most absurd, ridiculous rumors and fabricated things I've ever heard in my life. Literally, Rob manipulates the media, and he puts out to the private. I've showed this picture. There's a private media relations account just for Lakers accredited Lakers media people with credentials, and they get to follow that account. And what happens is Rob or PR, that blonde woman, whatever her name is, will float out news from rumors. And he'll manipulate the media. They'll report it. Ramona Shelburne or whatever. Brian Horst will pick it up. They'll report it. Everybody's going nuts thinking, oh my God. And that's not what's actually going on. And that trade is bullshit with B.I., Lonzo, and Kuz all together. But, yeah. So obviously I've gone back and forth on this whole trade thing in terms of who to trade. I still think we have to get AD. But the reality is if you get AD, let's just say hypothetically we get AD in 2020, it won't happen. We're not going to wait till year 3 of LeBron to get him. But let's just say we do, which means that we'd keep everybody, right? If you get him in free agency in 2020, the summer of 2020, you don't have to get rid of anybody. That would be catastrophic to Kuzma's minutes. Kuzma would be the odd man out once again. I mean, I guess AD could play center. It's just literally Kuzma would not be the same. And maybe there's a chance Luke would stagger if Luke is still the coach, he would stagger the minutes in a way it would work out. But hypothetically, I just think it would be the same thing like tonight, where Kuzma's opportunities, he's not going to get the 20 shots that he's going to get, 15 shots he's going to get. Like, LeBron's going to find him on cuts like 3 to 5 times a game maybe, but, like, the ISO opportunities are fractured in half now, especially if you get AD. But I was saying, because Kuzma's contract, you should keep him for the cap thing. But if you have Brandon and Lonzo's bird rights, it's like, whatever, who cares? And the Lakers are obviously not a stranger to going over the luxury tax and paying the money. Like, we have fucking one of the biggest business moguls in the fucking nation with Magic, and it's LA anyways, and our Spectrum deal and all that. I mean, we're fine. We're good. So let's talk about I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Wow. Let's talk about a little bit more about the 7-point lead surrendering thing. I think it was exactly a minute and 20 some odd seconds. Like 27 seconds when they're up by 7. And they gave up the 4-point play. They gave up an and 1. So it was 2 points. The guy missed a free throw, and then Boban got the rebound. And then he made it or whatever. So that's one thing. But then doing this with the Rockets a week ago, that is another thing. And it just keeps happening over and over again. I mean, you can't keep doing it. I said it earlier, but specifically the 7-point thing. Because the 7-point thing is a 3-possession game, right? So when you give up a 4-point play, then it's actually a 2-possession game. So it's just mind-boggling how we break down, and it's always 7 points. Always. So I don't get it. All right. I'm going to lay off the story time today. I didn't do one last time. I'm not going to do one today. Maybe I'll do a really good one next podcast on Saturday or Sunday. Well, probably not. I'll probably post it on Saturday because Sundays, Ram time, baby. We're going to get that Super Bowl ring. No, not we. I'm a Packers fan. But yeah, probably Saturday when I post it, I'll do a whole prep for the story time. I'll beef it up, make it real good, details, everything. Because usually I do a little outline of my story time, and I then dive into details off the cuff. Now I'm gonna break it down for you guys. I'm gonna get details. What was Kobe holding in his hand? Was it gin or was it water? No, I'm kidding. All right, I'm Charles Ryan. This has been Lakeshow's Finest Redux. And we out here. Take it away, LS.